Hi everybody, Kim Berry here with Kim's DIY Tribe, and we're doing Easter crafts. In the midst of the Corona crisis, we are in our craft bunker doing some crafts and projects and thinking of things that are much more positive. For example, I went to the Target dollar spot before all this happened, weeks ago, and I found these really cool wooden eggs. I thought it would be fun to put a new spin, new twist on the classic filling plastic eggs and having an egg hunt. Normally you buy the plastic eggs and you put jelly beans or coins or stickers inside them. And then they get ants or melty in the hot Florida sun, or your dog finds them and eats them before the kids do. So instead of that, I thought, how cool would it be to paint them, make them pretty, and then laser engrave them with things like an extra 15 minutes of staying up late, or you get to pick breakfast this morning. Different types of rewards or findings when they hunt their eggs that they can kind of cash in like coupons, and yet the eggs can be used over and over every year. And you could always do two sides. So you could maybe have it stay up 15 minutes late or sleep in 15 minutes. That way you could vary the choices for the child that finds the egg. So I just thought that would be a fun way to jazz up our Easter egg hunt this year. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, please hit it. Give me a thumbs up. I hope you like what you're going to see, and we're going to Glowforge some eggs. So here we are getting ready to color our eggs for our wood engraved Easter eggs. I thought it might be really fun to let the kids get in on this. You'll need gloves, and actually dye the wooden eggs with alcohol ink. You mix up your own dye with some alcohol. I'm just putting in a little squirt. I would say that's about 2 tablespoons. And then you shake your alcohol inks and put a squirt in there. Not a big squirt, just like you do food coloring in vinegar when you're really dyeing eggs. Give that a swirl. And then you're just going to drop your egg in there just like you would real Easter egg dye. It's just you're not going to completely submerge it, but you're going to roll it around and let it absorb some of that. And here's what I did in the orchid. It's just starting to dry now on this plastic Ziploc bag, so I didn't get the dye on my workspace. Here's kind of a teal colored one. Of course, you could leave these natural wood if you were into that natural super farmhouse look. It's got a place. It's really pretty. I think kids and children probably enjoy the bright colors, and it kind of makes them fun to hunt. Of course, you could get them in natural colors like greens and browns to make the egg hunt more challenging. So there's one of those in a teal color. Let's do a purple. Again with the alcohol ink. First, I'm using straight up isopropyl alcohol, 91%. And let's do the purple. I'm probably still going to wind up wearing this ink, but I think it's something with gloves on both hands that kids would really enjoy. Maybe do it outside over newspaper. Wear black like I do. That way you don't see it if you splatter it on your clothes. This is a beautiful color of purple. And I'm going to try some with just the straight up paint, the acrylic paints from Michael's, Joann's, Walmart, wherever you get your paints from. But there's the purple one. And I think I'm going to do a set like this and another set with the acrylic paints, and then we can compare them. You can give me your opinion and feedback, and I'll tell you what I think after we're all set and done. Here are the results of our different types of coloring our wooden Easter eggs. These are painted with regular old acrylic paints, and these we made Easter egg dye, sort of kind of, out of alcohol ink and regular rubbing alcohol. You also could probably use food coloring for this. You just have to try it and experiment and see what you thought. You could always paint over it if it didn't work, but I wonder if regular egg dye wouldn't provide some pretty nice results like this. Whichever you prefer, we're going to laser them up, and I'm going to show you how we're setting them in the Glowforge bed. Here's our Glowforge bed. The honeycomb tray has been removed because the egg is thick. This is an acrylic painted egg. And here's a jig so that the egg doesn't roll and it keeps it level and balanced so that the engraving will be even. We're going to put our egg in there and we're going to close the lid. I'll put it on time lapse and let you see it do its magic. Okay, so our eggs are done and they came out really well. I'm really excited, but some of the fonts and background colors of egg didn't work well together. I probably should not have picked scripty fonts. They are a little bit hard to read, especially for younger children, but this was for a teenager. It says a free tank of gas. And while I can see it and read it up close, no problem, as would the egg hunters, if you will, they will have no problem reading it. But to make it pretty for filming and photography, you might want to try something I came up with. And I thought I'd share it with you. I thought it's a good idea to share some of the mistakes I made or things that you could do differently if you were doing it a second time around. So all I did was put a little bit of white paint directly on. I just kind of globbed it on there. And then I used a piece of paper towel and just kind of smooshed it. Yes, that's my technical craft term. No making fun of me. Just smoosh it in. Then you're going to wipe away the excess. First with a dry one. And then a damp one. You don't want to wipe hard and remove it from the grooves, but you want it to disappear from the actual color of the egg. All right, pretty good. So there, you can see it much clearer, the free tank of gas. And I also noted that when we did these alcohol ink dyed eggs, I went over this one with just a little bit of a gold sheen because I just kind of liked how it looked. And I also wanted to point out that it might be a good idea to coat your wooden eggs with just a light coating of mineral oil, just standard old mineral oil. I got this from Target, not expensive. I used it for my pen DIY. If you haven't seen how to make your own custom pens, that's why I needed the mineral oil. So you might want to go check that video out too if you haven't seen it. But this makes them just shine a little bit better. Wipe off the excess because you don't want it to be oily. You just want it to have like protection, almost like furniture polish, like lemon pledge on your wood table, that kind of idea. So there it is, and I did it on our acrylic painted eggs as well, especially the one with the scripty font that was hard to read. This one says skip one chore this week, but it's hard to read in that script. So maybe pick something more straightforward like this One More Bedtime Story. Stick with maybe printed fonts. Keep that in mind as you laser your eggs. But this one I also did the paint and bed and the mineral oil, and I like how they turned out. It wouldn't be necessary except in pictures because they're easy to read in person, but on the camera with the lighting, it just didn't show as well on these darker toned eggs as I wanted it to, so I thought I'd give you this tip in case you wanted to try it yourselves. Here are our finished eggs. I did it in a set for what I consider to be like teenagers, the 12 and up crowd, and then for primary grades for like 12 and under. So I'll go over them with you. We have private pizza party in your room. Some days they just don't feel like having to sit and eat at the table, and I understand that. So they get to pick their own favorite pizza and have it delivered to their room and just chill out. A new clothes or video game mall run. Take them to the mall for that new Madden game, or they just really need a new shirt for some special event. Free tank of gas for those that drive. A sleep till noon all weekend. I know as a teenager I would have liked that instead of having to get up early and get busy doing a ton of other things. We host a sleepover with your BFF.
It gives them a reason to ask you to have their friends around you, and that's a really good thing. It works both ways. One load of Mom's 911 laundry service. Anybody else have a teenager that needs that special shirt immediately, and yet they're too busy at practice, whether they play sports or in band, to get their own laundry done? And they should be doing their own laundry, but this, you come to the rescue with your special 911 laundry service and bail them out. And for the youngers, 30 extra minutes of tech time, iPad or video game. Make your own favorite dessert with Mom or Dad. They get to pick. Do they want sugar cookies or chocolate cake? They get to bake it with you. I know my girls would have loved that. One More Bedtime Story would have always been a hit. We read lots and lots at nighttime, and that's one of the best gifts you can give your kids. And here, if they love it, they're going to love it more. This could be for teens or youngers because it's skip one chore this week. They get to pick the one chore they really hate the most and skip it. Here, stay up late for an extra 20 minutes or a $5 toy run. Something simple and quick, maybe Dollar Tree or something like that. Just a little pick-me-up that they get to kind of hang on to till they really just want to get out and around and get that new toy. So there you have it. Our egg hunt with a different spin or twist than just stuffing plastic eggs with a few jelly beans.